Pete the cat was walking down the street in his brand new white shoes. He loved his white shoes so much, he sang a little song. I love my white shoes, I love my white shoes, I love my white shoes. But as Pete walked along, he stepped right into a big pile of strawberries. Oh no, his white shoes turned red. Did Pete cry? Goodness, no. He kept walking along, singing his song, but now he was singing, I love my red shoes, I love my red shoes, I love my red shoes. Then Pete stepped into a big pile of blueberries. His shoes turned blue. Did Pete cry? Goodness, no. He kept walking along, singing his song. I love my blue shoes, I love my blue shoes, I love my blue shoes. Next, Pete stepped in a big puddle of mud. His shoes turned brown. Did Pete cry? Goodness, no. He kept walking along and singing, I love my brown shoes, I love my brown shoes, I love my brown shoes. Then Pete stepped in a bucket of water, and guess what? His shoes were all clean again, but now they were wet. Did Pete cry? Goodness, no. He kept walking along and singing his song. I love my wet shoes, I love my wet shoes, I love my wet shoes. The moral of Pete's story is simple. No matter what you step in, keep walking along and singing your song, because it's all good, good. I love my red shoes, I love my wet shoes, I love my wet shoes. The moral of Pete's story is simple. No matter what you step in, keep walking along and singing your song, because it's all good.
Pete the Cat and his 4 groovy buttons.
Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.
Pete the cat loved his favorite shirt. It was bright yellow with 4 big, colorful buttons. He liked to sing about them as he walked along. Hey! My buttons, I love my buttons. Pete was feeling so proud. His buttons were groovy, and he was cool. But pop, oh no! One of the buttons popped off and rolled away. Did Pete cry? Goodness, no. He just kept singing, my buttons, I still have 3 groovy buttons. Pete kept on walking, singing his song. Then pop, another button fell off and bounced down the street. Did Pete cry? Goodness, no. He just kept on singing. My buttons, I still have 2 groovy buttons. Pete kept strolling along, happy as can be. Then pop, another button popped off and splashed into a puddle. Did Pete cry? Goodness, no. He just kept singing, my buttons, I still have 1 groovy button. Pete kept on moving, smiling wide, and then pop, the last button popped off and rolled away. Oh no, now there were no buttons left. Did Pete cry? Goodness, no, because he still has something even better, his belly button. Pete looked down at his belly button and sang, my button, still got my belly button.
Pete knew. Things come and go, but you just keep on singing. Pete the Cat has a bad day.
Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.
Pete the Cat woke up and stretched with a big yawn. He slipped on his red shoes and sang, "It's gonna be a groovy day." But, oh no, his favorite cereal box was empty. "No worries," Pete said. I'll have toast instead." Then his toast popped out burned and black. Pete sighed. "It's just breakfast. I can still have a groovy day." Pete got ready for school, but when he reached for his backpack, it wasn't there. Pete said. "I must have left it at school." He biked to class, but it started to rain splash. Splash, splash. His fur got soaked, his tail drooped, and his shoes squished. At school, Pete tried to smile, but nothing felt groovy. His pencil broke. His sandwich fell jelly side down. Even his favorite art class was canceled. Pete sat on the steps at recess, feeling blue. "Bad day?" asked Callie, the calico cat, sitting beside him. Pete nodded slowly. "Yeah, everything's gone wrong today." Callie smiled and said, "But not everything. I'm here, and we can still play." Pete's eyes lit up. "Want to make up a silly song?" They tapped their paws and clapped their hands. Even when it's rainy, even when it's gray, friends make sunshine. On a not-so-groovy day, Pete laughed for the first time that morning. "Maybe it wasn't such a bad day after all," he said. That afternoon, the rain stopped. The sun peeked out, and Pete the cat felt warm again on the outside and inside. Because Pete learned something important. Bad days happen, but with a friend by your side and a song in your heart, you can always find the good.
The bad days happen, but with a friend and a song, you'll find the good. Bad days happen, but with a friend and a song, you'll find the good.
Pete the cat screams for ice cream. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you. One sunny afternoon, Pete the cat woke up with a big smile. He stretched his paws and wiggled his tail. Today's going to be a perfect day for an adventure, he thought. Pete slipped on his favorite red sneakers and grabbed his trusty guitar. "Let's go see what's happening in the neighborhood," he said, stepping out the door. As Pete walked down the street, he heard a familiar sound in the distance. It was a happy jingle, the kind that makes everyone smile. Pete's ears perked up, and his eyes lit up. "What's that sound?" he wondered. Following the jingle, Pete turned a corner and saw it, a bright, colorful ice cream truck parked in front of the park. The truck was painted in rainbow colors, and the windows were filled with all sorts of yummy treats. "Yum," Pete said, licking his lips. "Ice cream for ice cream." He ran up to the truck with excitement, ready to get his favorite flavor. The ice cream truck driver, a friendly owl named Ollie, waved at Pete. "Hi, Pete. What flavor would you like today?" Ollie asked, smiling. Pete thought for a moment. I think I'll have a big scoop of blueberry swirl," Pete said. "That's my favorite." Ollie the owl handed Pete a cone with a big, delicious scoop of blueberry swirl ice cream. Pete took a big bite, and his eyes lit up with joy. "This is the best ice cream ever," Pete shouted, doing a happy little dance. Just then, Pete's friends, Grumpy Toad, Sally the squirrel, and Emma the rabbit, came bouncing over. They saw Pete with his ice cream and giggled. "Pete, we want some too," Grumpy Toad said, his mouth watering. Sally the squirrel clapped her paws. "I want chocolate chip cookie dough," she exclaimed. Emma the rabbit bounced up and down. "And I want strawberry swirl," she cheered. Pete smiled and nodded. "Let's all get in line for some ice cream," he said. The four friends happily lined up behind Pete. Ollie the owl handed out scoops to each friend. Soon, everyone had their ice cream, and they all sat down on the grass in the park, enjoying their treats. As they ate, Pete looked around at his friends, his heart full of happiness. "Nothing is better than sharing ice cream with friends," Pete said with a smile. The sun was setting, casting a warm glow over the park. Pete and his friends finished their ice cream and laughed, knowing that it had been the perfect day. "Thanks for the ice cream, Ollie," Pete called as he waved goodbye to the truck. "Anytime, Pete," Ollie replied, his wings flapping happily. Pete smiled and walked home with his friends. "Ice cream for ice cream," Pete sang, strumming his guitar as they walked down the street. "And so do my friends."
Pete the Cat and the New Guy.
Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.
It was a bright and breezy morning. Pete the Cat stretched and gave a big yawn. "Time to rock this beautiful day," he said with a grin. As Pete slid on his red sneakers, he heard the beep beep of a moving truck next door. A new neighbor? Pete wondered. He stepped outside, strumming his guitar, and saw a big truck unloading boxes. Out popped a tall, striped animal with spiky hair and a happy smile. "Hi, I'm Gus," said the new guy. "I just moved in." Pete waved his paw. "Welcome to the neighborhood, Gus. I'm Pete. Wanna play?" Gus nodded. "I'd love to." Pete showed Gus all around town. They rode skateboards, played baseball, and strummed guitars at the park. But Gus didn't ride the board, or swing the bat, or strum the strings. "I'm not good at these things," Gus said quietly. Pete scratched his head and smiled. "That's cool, Gus. Everyone's got something they're good at." The next day, Pete visited Gus again. "I brought something special," said Gus, pulling out a pair of bongo drums. Boom, boom, tappa, tappa, boom. The beat was amazing. "Whoa," said Pete, "you're a rockin' drummer." Pete had an idea. He called all their friends, Grumpy Toad, Callie the Calico Cat, Squirrel and Owl. That evening, they met in Pete's garage and formed a band, the Rockin' Groovy Guys. Pete played guitar, Gus played bongos, Grumpy Toad was on bass, Callie sang with joy, Owl tapped the tambourine, and Squirrel shook maracas. They jammed and danced and sang, "It's all good, just be you. There's a special beat in all you do. No need to worry, no need to hide. You've got a groove that's cool inside." Gus smiled big and bright. He may be the new guy, but now he felt right at home. Moral of the story: everyone is good at something, just be yourself and find your beat.
Pete the cat woke up with the sun, slipped on his sneakers, ready for fun. He heard a truck and stepped outside. A brand new neighbor had arrived. "I am Gus," said a striped new guy with a friendly smile and a twinkle in his eye. Pete said, "Let's play, come along." But things didn't go quite right or wrong. Gus couldn't skate or play guitar. He felt like fitting in was too far. But then he played his bongo beat. Boom, boom, tap, it was super sweet. "You got the groove," Pete's have a cheer. "Let's start a band, now your time is here. Be yourself and play a part. There's a rhythm in your heart." Pete the cat woke up with the sun, slipped on his sneakers, ready for fun. He heard a truck and stepped outside. A brand new neighbor had arrived. "Hi, I'm Gus," said a striped new guy with a friendly smile and a twinkle in his eye. Pete said, "Let's play, come along." But things didn't go quite right or wrong. Gus couldn't skate or play guitar. He felt like fitting in was too far. But then he played his bongo beat. Boom, boom, tap, it was super sweet. "You got the groove," Pete said with cheer. "Let's start a band, now your time is here. Be yourself and play your part. There's a rhythm in your heart."
Pete the cat. Learn shapes. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you. Pete the cat was ready for a new adventure. He grabbed his trusty guitar, put on his favorite shoes, and said, "It's time to learn about shapes." Groovy. Pete started his day by walking to the park. On the way, he saw a big yellow square. "Squares have 4 equal sides," Pete sang as he tapped his paws to the beat. "Square shapes are so cool." Next, Pete spotted a red triangle on a sign. "Triangles have 3 sides and 3 corners," Pete said with a grin. "Let's make a song about triangles." Pete strummed his guitar and made up a groovy tune.
Triangles upon a high, 3 sides meet in the sky. Triangles upon a high, 3 sides meet in the sky.
Hark! Pete noticed a blue circle on the playground. It was the big round merry-go-round. "Circles are round and go round and round," Pete sang, spinning with the kids. "This is fun." As Pete explored more, he found a purple rectangle on a bench. "Rectangles have 2 long sides and 2 short sides," Pete said, tracing the shape with his paw. "They're perfect for things like books and benches." Pete looked up and saw the sun peeking through a white oval-shaped cloud. "Ovals are like stretched out circles," Pete said. "Cool and smooth, like my tunes." Finally, Pete and his friends made a big heart shape with their arms. "Hearts are the shape of love," Pete said, giving a little dance. "Learning shapes is groovy." With a big smile, Pete strummed his guitar one last time and sang.
Shapes are here, shapes are there, you can find them anywhere. Squares and circles, triangles too, rectangles, ovals, hearts for you. Shapes are here, shapes are there, you can find them anywhere. Squares and circles, triangles too, rectangles, ovals, hearts for you.
Pete the cat. Rocking in my school shoes. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you. It was Pete the cat's first day of school, and he was ready to go. Pete had his brand new, shiny red school shoes on, and he was excited to see what the day would bring. With his guitar slung over his shoulder and a smile on his face, Pete climbed onto the yellow school bus. As Pete walked into school, he sang.
I'm rocking in my school shoes. I'm rocking in my school shoes.
Pete explored his new classroom. He saw rows of desks, colorful posters, and a big whiteboard. His teacher, Miss Daisy, smiled and said, "Welcome, Pete." Pete wasn't sure what to expect, but he was ready to try anything. When it was time for reading, Pete sat down in the reading corner with a pile of books. He flipped through pages filled with exciting stories about adventures, animals, and spaceships. Pete sang.
I'm reading in my school shoes. I'm reading in my school shoes.
After reading time, Pete went to the lunchroom. The smell of spaghetti and meatballs filled the air. Pete picked up a tray and found a seat with his new friends. He wasn't sure if he'd like the food, but he gave it a try anyway. Pete sang.
I'm reading in my school shoes. I'm reading in my school shoes. I'm reading in my school.
After lunch, it was time to play outside. Pete ran to the playground, where kids were climbing, swinging, and sliding. Pete hopped onto the jungle gym and climbed to the top. The warm sun and cool breeze made him feel alive and free. Pete sang.
I'm playing in my school shoes. I'm playing in my school shoes. I'm playing in my school shoes.
Later, Pete and his classmates went to the library. Pete loved the quiet and peaceful space filled with books. He found a comfy chair and started flipping through a book about dinosaurs. Pete sang.
I'm learning in my school shoes. I'm learning in my school shoes. I'm learning in my school shoes.
The school day flew by, and soon it was time to go home. Pete hopped back onto the yellow school bus, feeling happy and proud of all he had done. When Pete got home, his mom asked, "How was your day at school, Pete?" Pete smiled and said, "It was all good." And as Pete curled up with his guitar, he strummed a tune and sang.
No matter where I go, no matter what I do, I'll keep rocking in my school shoes, and you can rock in yours too.
Pete the Cat, Pajama Day Fun.
Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you. It was a bright and sunny morning, but Pete the cat was still in his cozy bed, stretching and yawning. Today wasn't just any day, it was Pajama Day at school, and Pete was super excited. Pete hopped out of bed, put on his coolest pajamas, bright yellow with little stars and moons, and slid into his white shoes. "It's going to be a groovy day," he said with a big smile as he grabbed his backpack and headed out the door. When Pete arrived at school, the whole hallway was filled with kids and teachers in their pajamas. Gus the platypus wore pajamas with tiny rockets, Callie the cat had heart-shaped pajamas, and even Grumpy Toad showed up in a fluffy green onesie shaped like a frog. The principal announced over the intercom, "Welcome to Pajama Day. We're going to have so much fun with games, stories, and surprises." Pete loved surprises. This is going to be the coolest day ever, he thought. The first event of the day was the pajama parade. Everyone lined up to show off their pajamas, marching through the school gym while upbeat music played. Pete led the line, strumming his small guitar as everyone sang.
Pajamas are comfy, pajamas are cool. We're rocking Pajama Day here at school. Pajamas are comfy, pajamas are cool. We're rocking Pajama Day here at school.
The crowd cheered when Grumpy Toad hopped like a frog in his onesie, making everyone laugh. Next, the class gathered in a big circle on colorful beanbags for a special story time. Miss Kitty, their teacher, wore pajamas covered in little books and held up a big picture book called The Great Pajama Adventure. Pete listened closely as Miss Kitty read about a group of friends who traveled the world in their pajamas. "That's groovy," Pete whispered to Gus. "We're like adventurers too." After the story, the class talked about where they'd go if they had magical pajamas. "I'd go to the moon," said Gus. "I'd visit a castle," said Callie. Pete grinned. "I'd explore the jungle and meet all the animals." The next event was a game called the Pillow Stack Challenge. Each team had to see how high they could stack pillows without them falling over. Pete's team worked together, carefully balancing one fluffy pillow on top of another. When the pile wobbled, Pete said, "Stay calm, stay groovy," and steadied the stack just in time. His team built the tallest tower, and everyone clapped and cheered. After lunch, it was time for arts and crafts. The kids got to decorate their own pillowcases. Pete painted his pillowcase with stars, guitars, and a big yellow moon. Callie added rainbows, Gus painted donuts, and Grumpy Toad surprised everyone by painting a bright green pond. "Your pillowcases look awesome," said Miss Kitty. "Now you'll always have a piece of Pajama Day with you." As the day wound down, it was time for the grand finale, a pajama dance party in the gym. Pete grabbed his guitar and started playing a funky tune. The lights dimmed, and colorful disco lights spun around the room. Everyone danced in their pajamas, laughing and spinning. Even Grumpy Toad was grooving to the beat. The whole gym sang along.
Pajamas all day, and that's okay. We're having the grooviest pajama day. Pajamas all day, and that's okay. We're having the grooviest pajama day. Pajamas all day, and that's okay. We're having the grooviest pajama day.
When the school day ended, Pete waved goodbye to his friends and headed home. Today was the best pajama day ever, he said, snuggling into his bed with his freshly painted pillowcase. As Pete closed his eyes, he whispered, "I can't wait for next year's pajama day. It's going to be groovy." And with that, Pete drifted off to sleep, dreaming of more adventures in his favorite pajamas.
Pete the cat and his magic sunglasses.
Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.
It was a gray and grumpy morning. Pete the cat opened his eyes and said, everything feels kind of blah. The sun was hiding. His pancakes were a little burnt. And even his red sneakers didn't feel cool today. Just then, Grumpy Toad rode up on his big blue motorcycle. "Hey Pete," said Grumpy Toad. "Try these cool sunglasses. They're magic." Pete slid on the shiny blue sunglasses. Suddenly, everything changed. With the sunglasses on, the sky looked bluer, the birds sounded louder, and Pete's pancakes didn't seem so bad after all. "I'm feeling all right," sang Pete the cat. As Pete walked down the street, he saw Squirrel moping on the sidewalk. "What's wrong, Squirrel?" asked Pete. "I lost my acorns and now my day is ruined," sighed Squirrel. Pete handed over the sunglasses. Squirrel put them on, looked around, and gasped. "Whoa, the world looks so bright. I'll just look for new acorns." Pete saw Alligator frowning near the pond. "My skateboard broke," said Alligator. "I was gonna have the best day ever." Pete gave him the sunglasses. Alligator's face lit up. "No worries, I'll build an even cooler one," he said. Page 6. Uh-oh, the glasses break. But just then, crack! The sunglasses slipped and broke on the sidewalk. "Oh no," said everyone. Everyone froze. Would the Grumpies come back? Pete looked around. The sky was still blue. The birds were still chirping. And his sneakers still looked awesome. Then Pete smiled and said, "I don't need magic sunglasses to see the good stuff. Happiness starts inside." Squirrel, Alligator, and Grumpy Toad nodded. "Yeah," said Squirrel, "we can choose to see the good." "Even if things go wrong," said Alligator, "we can stay strong." Grumpy Toad chuckled. "Looks like we've all got magic inside us." Pete strummed his guitar and sang,
I woke up grumpy, feeling slow. The sky was gray, no sunny glow. But Grumpy Toad came riding fast. "Try these shades, you'll have a blast." I put them on, and what a sight! The world lit up so bold and bright. The flowers danced, the birds flew high. I waved hello to the big blue sky. I shared my shades with friends in need and watched their frowns turn bright indeed. From squirrel to gator, everyone knew a sunny outlook starts with you. But when they broke, I didn't cry. I smiled and looked up at the sky.
Brown bear, what do you see? What do you see?
Brown bear, what do you see? I see a red red bird looking at me. What do you see? What do you see? Look around and tell me, what do you see? Red bird, what do you see? I see a yellow duck looking at me. What do you see? What do you see? Look around and tell me, what do you see? Yellow duck, what do you see? I see a blue horse looking at me. What do you see? What do you see? Look around and tell me, what do you see? Blue horse, what do you see? I see a green frog looking at me. What do you see? What do you see? Look around and tell me, what do you see? Green frog, what do you see? I see a purple cat looking at me. What do you see? What do you see? Look around and tell me, what do you see? Purple cat, what do you see? I see a white dog looking at me. What do you see? What do you see? Look around and tell me, what do you see? A white dog, what do you see? I see a black sheep looking at me. What do you see? What do you see? Look around and tell me, what do you see? Black sheep, what do you see? I see a goldfish looking at me. What do you see? What do you see? Look around and tell me, what do you see? Goldfish, what do you see? I see a teacher looking at me. What do you see? What do you see? Look around and tell me, what do you see? Teacher, what do you see? I see children looking at me. What do you see? Look around and tell me, what do you see? Children, what do you see? We see a brown bear, a red bird, a yellow duck, a blue horse, a green frog, a purple cat, a white dog, a black sheep, a goldfish, and a teacher looking at us. That's what we see, that's what we see. All the colors and animals, that's what we see.
Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.